Hi, I'm Karey Williams. Welcome to my website as well as my YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you showed up. The fact that you're here means there's something that I have to offer you because I don't believe in any accidents. And I'm grateful that you came and to learn a little bit more about me and what I may have to offer you and what might be of value for you. Let me tell you a little bit about myself and how I got started in the energy therapy business and the life coaching business and the speaking business. As a little girl, I saw energy. I believe my mom said that I think it was 5 years old the first time I talked about it. I was sitting in church, and maybe because I was still in church, it was easier to notice it. But I was noticing colors around people, and I talked to her about it after church. And luckily, I have a fantastic mother who understood what I was talking about, because my mother's always sensed energy and been a dreamer of dreams that she understands were messages. Anyway, as I progressed and grew, by about the time I was 14, people would walk in the room and like complete strangers, and I knew what was going on in their lives and have like downloads of messages to share with them and what I was supposed to talk to them about. This was a little like, not troublesome, but wondersome for me. And I was pondering it, and I believe in higher power. So however you refer to a higher power, I'm going to call our higher power God. As you listen to my videos, you can think of it as the universe or replace it with whatever works for you. But for me, it's God. And as I was pondering it and praying about it, I asked God, well, what's going on? Why is this showing up? What am I supposed to do with this? And in my particular spiritual practice, I went to a man who gives blessings. And this man had no idea about what had been happening to me, about knowing things about strangers. And so I knew that this was a direct message from God, because as I got this blessing, it talked about gifts that were given and what to use them for, and like the gift of empathy and insight and knowledge, and also what to do with it, how I would be able to help people. And so as a 14-year-old at that time, I thought, well, I'll be a psychologist. I didn't really know what to do with the information at that time. So I went to college to be a psychologist. And as I was in school, studying, I realized that as I looked at all of the information, the studies on how many people get well talking to psychologists, I was a little disheartened, because not very many people shifted. And I didn't think it needed to be that hard. Things can be a lot easier. And that's why I was grateful I was led to energy work, because things can shift quickly. As quickly as you're ready to handle it and to heal, it can happen. And so I was a trainer at the same time I was going to school, and I realized when I talked about life skills in front of a class or leadership skills, that people shifted quicker, just talking about good things versus the people that I interviewed who had seen counselors for ages. Now, nothing's wrong with counseling, especially if you get a really good counselor, because when you get a really good counselor, they're coaches, and you can sit down and really talk about your stuff with them, and they'll be able to process you and help you. But it's important that there's a good match between the person who is counseling and the person receiving the counseling. So it's kind of it can be hit and miss, too hit and miss. And so I decided that I would just continue being a corporate trainer. I loved it. And then there was a time where I just received a message to myself from Spirit saying, it is time to come home and it's time to start doing something different. I had no idea what that was. But I was reading in a book, and I read the words rapid eye technology. And that is an energy modality and also a modality that works to help any stress and trauma in your brain with the neural pathways. And when I started learning it, I went to the Rapid Eye Institute. It's out of Oregon. And as I was learning it, it felt completely familiar, like I'd done this before. And then that is one of the energy modalities that I know. You'll learn more about energy modalities in another one of my videos titled How Energy Works and Energy Modalities that I do. But anyway, so I came home from work and started that. And I have seen hundreds and hundreds of clients for over 9 years now, and great results. It works completely quickly, and that's what I love about energy. And we'll explain a lot about what energy therapy is. The other things about me is I'm a mom of 3 children, love being a mom. My ultimate desire is to help people learn to love themselves. And as you love yourself, you love others much easier, and to help people experience more joy. You'll notice on my site that hummingbird is my part of my logo, and you'll see a hummingbird a lot. I've always liked the energy of hummingbirds. I love birds. And one of those reasons that I used a hummingbird is because of a personal meaning to me. A long time ago, as I was struggling thinking about what brings me joy in life, I was on a path of deciding, what do I really want? What are the expectations I want to live by? What are the rules I'm living by? What are the things I'm believing that don't really work? And I was sitting in my backyard. I love to garden. And so I always planted flowers for hummingbirds to come, because I love hummingbirds. And there was no hummingbirds coming, and I was wondering why. And then I realized we had these American kestrels in the neighbor's yard, and American kestrels love to prey on hummingbirds. So I thought, okay, well, I'm blessed with these American kestrels. That's okay. They're beautiful animals, beautiful birds. But I really wanted to see a hummingbird. And I was sitting on my rocking chair, watching my kids play. They were really little at the time. I heard this voice literally say, if you want to see a hummingbird, Karey, call it forth. Call it forth. And I thought about that, call it forth. And I pondered that in my brain for a second. And so I kind of said, a little sheepishly at first, okay, universe, I want to see a hummingbird. Bring me a hummingbird. I kind of sat there for a minute, looked around, like, is this going to happen right away? And then one of my kids needed to go in the house. We went in the house. And about 3 hours later, we went back outside. And I was just walking by the swing set with my little kid. And I heard another voice say, look up in the tree. And I looked up in the tree right above me on this branch, with this empty branch with no leaves, and there was a hummingbird. And I had the other words come to my mind that said, whatever brings you joy, I'm interested in. Whatever makes you happy is worth my time and my effort. And I knew at that moment that whatever I wanted to experience, I could call it forth. Now, maybe it was easy with that hummingbird, and I get to practice with bigger things, like calling bigger dreams forth. But I know that Spirit is always interested in what brings you joy. And I'm grateful to be here to help with whatever you need. Any questions that you have, anything you want to see, anything you want to learn about on my YouTube channel, please contact me. We'll put my information down below. And if you've made it to my website, you already know where my information is at kareywilliams.com. Thank you so much for your time. Have a fabulous day.